Welcome to the Reed Report. Thank you guys for taking this time to hear me out on this morning. The Reed Report has been MIA for quite some time, for about a month now. Last time we did a video was actually the remix, the re-predicting the NBA playoffs because of all those trades that went down. But we have our official playoff predictions. But before we get into that, we do have the play-in, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So today we're just going to give you our play-in matchups, and then after the play-in is all set, then we'll give you the playoff matchups just so we can have the field set. But we'll just do separate videos. I know it may be pointless to some people, but I just like to know who's going to be in. I know these are predictions. There's a chance I could be wrong. So I just want to see who's going to be in. I may, a team may surprise you in the play-in, and I may want to pick them to beat the 7 or 8 seed that they're going to be matching up with. So we're just going to do it like this. We're going to do the play-in, and then we're going to do the playoffs after the play-in is set. So, yeah. So tonight, which is Tuesday, tonight we got the Hawks versus Heat. We got the Lakers versus Timberwolves. Tomorrow we have the Bulls versus Raptors, and then the Pelicans versus the Thunder. And then after that, the loser of the 7 versus 8 in both conferences will play the winner of the 9 versus 10 on what's that day? Friday, I believe. So without further ado, let's we back in full effect. Be sure to smash that like button. Please leave a comment. Be sure to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified when videos come up, because we are going to be back into doing videos and talking about sports topics and trending topics, things that are hot takes in the world. So be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you can get all the latest reports from the Reed Report. So without further ado, let's get into it. And we're going to start things off with the Atlanta Hawks in the play-in game, taking on the Miami Heat. Last year, I think the Hawks were in a position where they were playing to get into the playoffs, and they were playing for that 8 spot, and they ended up playing the Miami Heat in the first round, and if I'm not mistaken, they were swept. But this year is a little different. We know the Heat made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They was a Jimmy Butler shot away from tying the game, taking it into overtime. I think, was he in position to hit the go-ahead or to tie the game? If I had to guess right now, I would say it was to go ahead and win the game. But they were in a position to make it to the NBA Finals. Butler missed a shot, and you know the rest. The Heat didn't win. Boston ended up going, and you know the rest from there. But yeah, this year, positions are, same for the Hawks, different for the Heat. Heat now find themselves as the 7 seed, division winners trying to play to get into the playoffs. I don't think that's something that has ever happened where a division winner could miss the playoffs. I think 4 years ago or so, the Orlando Magic, they were the 7 seed in that division, the Southeast Division. But that was before the play-in, and I just found it odd that a division winner could be so low. But I do get it. It's the wins that matter in the NBA and the NFL. If you win your division, you automatically get a home playoff game in the first round. But it's different in the NBA. We got the 7-seeded Hawks at home taking on the 8-seeded Atlanta Hawks for the 7 spot. And I'm going to take Miami to win this game. I think the Miami Heat are a better team. Atlanta, they've been a playoff team since, but they haven't been the same team since that Eastern Conference Finals appearance a couple years ago. But Miami will win this game, and I think they're going to win this game. I will say Heat over Hawks. Oh wait, this is not the playoffs. I'm about to give you I was about to give y'all a series prediction, but I forgot. This is the play-in. So yeah, I'm just taking Miami to win this game. I got the Miami Heat. Honestly, I'm going to do this thing from least important, which I don't think, well, I should have started with the Bulls and Raptors if I were going to do that. But I'm going to do this thing from, to the most important one. So we're going to do, even though the Lakers play Tuesday, we're going to do the Bulls and Raptors, and we're going to tackle the Lakers last, because that's the play-in game. I guess everyone is mostly looking forward to. But yeah, Bulls versus Raptors. Bulls versus Raptors in the play-in for the 9 versus 10, I should say, for the right to play the loser of the Hawks and Heat. These were two teams who were in the playoffs last year. I don't think either of these teams were in a position to where they had to play for a playoff spot. I think, yeah, because let's see, the Bulls played in the first round the Bucks, and or were the Bulls in position in a play-in? I don't think they. I think they did ended up. Let me check. I think they did end up falling out of the playoffs to where they had to play themselves in. Okay, so last year, no, I was wrong. So last year it was Cleveland versus Brooklyn in the play-in game, and Atlanta versus Charlotte. So the Bulls were actually the 6th seed. So they were the on the border of being in the play-in. So they did play the Bucks. It's just that the Bucks were the 3 seed. So yeah, they didn't have to play for a playoff spot, and neither did the Raptors because the Raptors were a 5 seed. But this year, just like the Heat, they find themselves trying to play in. I'm gonna take the Toronto Raptors. I think they just have a better roster, underrated roster, not a championship roster, but in terms of what we're comparing it to, they have a better roster than the Bulls. And they are at home, so I think they should win this game, and that will eliminate the Chicago Bulls from getting into the playoffs. And then we have the Oklahoma City Thunder, a surprise team. Even if they don't make the play-in tournament, this team had a really good season this year. They had a really good season considering they lost their top pick and they had no expectations of going in. I think their coach should get some votes for coach of the year. I don't think he'll win it, but they had a really good season, 40-42 with no expectations. If this team were a lottery team, no one would be surprised. It just goes to show you how important it is, in the front office and things like that. And I know what y'all are thinking. Oh man, he's saying all this, so he's setting it up to pick against the Thunder. They had a good season. You can't take anything away from that. The Pelicans at one point were the top seed in the West, not very long. They went on like an 11-game losing streak. And of course, that streak ended when they played the Lakers early in the season. But they had an underachieving season. They underachieved this season. I know Zion is always in and out of the lineup, but I still feel like they underachieved this year. I think they should have been better than 42-40, mediocre. But I don't know the status of Zion, but at this point, everybody's 0-0 now. Records do not matter. But in this game, I am going to take the New Orleans Pelicans at home to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think Pelicans will win this game, and they will play the loser of the Lakers versus Timberwolves, which is the matchup we will get into next. But I am taking the Pelicans to win this game in the 9 versus 10 against the Oklahoma City Thunder. OKC is going to be a force. They're going to be a force. They just don't have bad seasons. Like they don't have disgraceful seasons like that. This is one of the team. This team was once, they were always constantly in the playoffs. I don't think they'll make it this year. They didn't make it last year. They did win just 24 games last year, but they bounced back quite nice. But I got New Orleans. I think the Pels are a better team, and they will win this game. And last but not least, in the play-in, of course, it's not a play-in tournament if the Lakers ain't in it. No, they didn't even make it last year, which is just sad. Anyway, we're not going to go back to that dark place. That was a really low moment. Well, we do have to revisit it if we were talking about other teams, what they did last year. So last year, the Lakers went 33-49, didn't even make the play-in tournament. Just an embarrassing season. Of course, I'm hard on the Lakers because I just don't like how everyone has an excuse for them, especially LeBron James. But that's not what this is about. But this year they started 0-5, then they were 2-10, and they just up and down all season, and then the trade happened. the trade happened, and I think they have the best record in the league since the trade. Since the All-Star break or since the trade, they have the best record in the league. Again, it's 0-0 now. They finished the season 43-39. None of it matters. There are a lot of games. I mean, we can look at this with any team. This is always the case. A lot of games they should have won, and they would have had a better position. Such as the Clipper game. It was a blowout from the get-go, but they came out flat. And that was a game that they were favored in, and they probably should have won. Should have won that game. You're not in the play-in tournament. Also, a game back in March against the Timberwolves. Should have won that game. There was also a game against the Knicks. Probably should have won that game. They lost to the Rockets. They lost to the Mavericks. Who else did they lose to? Lost to the Bulls. They shouldn't have. Well, whatever. Y'all get my point. There were a lot of games they should have won, and they wouldn't be in this position, but they are in this position against a Timberwolves team who, just like the Pelicans, I feel underachieved especially for what they gave up for Rudy Gobert, who will not be playing in this game for obvious reasons. He was suspended for that little punch shove. They calling it a punch, like he Draymond Green, his teammate or something, when he didn't do that. But and I know there's a whole thing about the league helping out the Lakers. Look, I'll get into that. I'll probably get into that some other time. I'm not going to get into that now. But similar altercation happened with the Clippers on the final games of the regular season, and that guy wasn't suspended, but Rudy Gobert gets suspended. I'm objective. I said I wasn't going to get into it, but I would have picked the Lakers regardless. Like I said, Timberwolves. Cat was out a lot for I guess most of the season. I didn't pay too much attention to them, but they still underachieved for what they have and what they gave up for Rudy and where they were last year. They still underachieve. But the Lakers are going to win this game. This game is Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. The Lakers will win this game. This is the 7 versus 8. Timberwolves beat the Pelicans last day of the regular season to get the 8th position, and they have to now travel to LA, and I think the Lakers will beat the Timberwolves and advance to play the Memphis Grizzlies. So that is my prediction for that. So those are the predictions for the play-in. Again, recap, the Heat will beat the Hawks, the Lakers will beat the Timberwolves, the Bulls will fall to the Raptors, and the Pelicans will beat the Thunder. So that means you'll have the 7 versus, you'll have the Hawks putting their 8th seed on the line against the Toronto Raptors, and I'm going to take the Hawks to retain the 8th spot just like they did last year, and they will beat the Toronto Raptors, and then they will match up against the Boston Celtics in the first round. No, the Milwaukee Bucks. I guess I just got so used to Boston being in first place. I'm just used to them being the top seed in the East, but it's the Milwaukee Bucks they will be matching up against. And then you'll have the Thunder eliminated. So that means the Pelicans will be trying to take that 8th seed from the Timberwolves. And I think they will do that in spite of me not knowing Zion's status. I think, Rudy will be back. But I'm going to still take Minnesota to fall in that game to the Pelicans. So that means the Pelicans will be the 8th seed in the East, and they will take on the Denver Nuggets, a team I had them playing in my playoff remix predictions back in February, and the Lakers will be playing the Grizzlies, and the Heat will be playing the Celtics. The Heat will be playing the Celtics. So, again, we're going to do those predictions. We're just going to wait till the play-in is set, make it a separate video. I feel like I've taken enough of you guys' time already, so we're going to make it a separate video, come back here Friday or after the play-in tournament. Come back here after the play-in is set and give our predictions on the official playoffs. Again, the matchups that are already set. You got Philly versus Brooklyn. You got Cleveland versus New York in the East in the playoffs, and then in the West you got Sacramento. First time since 2006 they're in the playoffs. They will be taking on the Golden State Warriors, the defending champions, I should add, Golden State Warriors. That's going to be interesting. I'm out here in Sac. I live in Sac, so we'll see. I'm thinking about going to one of those games. We will see. The Reed Report will keep you up to date on that. So yeah, we got Sac versus Golden State. And then the other matchup that is set is the Clippers versus the the Phoenix Suns. Clippers versus Suns. But we will be back here after the play-in is set, and we will do our official playoff predictions. Hopefully, we have some information on like people like Paul George, Zion Williamson, their status in terms of if they'll be available in the first round. That's if, of course, the Pelicans beat the Oklahoma City Thunder first, and then the Timberwolves. I'm just assuming the Lakers winning now, I guess. But yeah, so that's all the time. Again, I appreciate you guys. Good to be back talking to you guys, spreading my predictions. We'll be doing more videos. Again, be sure to like this video, leave a comment, tell me what you guys think is going to happen in the play-ins. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you will be alerted when videos are posted. Until then, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you soon. Peace.